want to make a quick video, mostly about this welder, but just do a little overview. Building a little, it's about a 12 by 11.5 foot aluminum cabin to put on a boat. I'm using a 30A. It's got the fast tip on it. I don't know if, I guess they're all the same, just different tips. Running a 035 wire. It's 53, 56 I think, but I'm gonna switch over to 40, 43 wire. Makes pretty good beads. It's kind of windy sometimes, so they get a little sooty, but you can tell when the wind's blowing versus when it's not blowing. So that's what we're kind of building. Taken one class in high school and one class in college, but I kind of just bought a bunch of welding stuff and started welding here and there in my off time. So this is a Ready Arc. That's the number. I guess it's a Miller 300 Pro. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. It's got real similar to the Miller one, I guess, but this one's got 14 pin and a 3 pin. I've never used that, but it's got the same dials and everything. This one's a constant, I think it's 1800 RPM, which I kind of like. It's a 4-cylinder Kubota V1505. This one's got 1921 hours. Just doing an oil change here soon. I don't know a whole bunch about it. I guess if you change this out, I think you can get a that idle down feature, but I don't mind it. I just built this little trailer here, and this is kind of my workbench, and I can weld right here, no problem. It's not that loud at all. I had a muffler that stopped right where that sooty spot is, but then I ended up adding this little piece that kind of venturis some fresh air and shoots it out the back. When I'm done welding, I just slide it up. I'm going to start welding for the day. It's not that loud. This place is kind of a mess. Sorry, I got a bunch of projects, but this is kind of the pending project area. I got some pins for a barbecue, stainless steel barbecue I'm making. This is for a boat I got to work on later. This is what I really want to get done, is my rollout wheel. If anybody has any tips for this, I'd like to keep the bolt off feature on it or whatever. I don't want to weld right to it, but this is cast. This weld I made with I've got a XMT 350 and a water cooler. I've also got a 12RC down there, but I haven't used that yet. And a little tiny, I think that's a 17 torch. No, 20. Anyways, I ran this bead with it, and I don't know how well you're able to see it, but I got some cracking. I preheated the cast, and I used some stainless because I thought it would have a little bit more flex to it, but I'm not real sure I'd want to hang a heavy pipe off of this bad boy. Also, never noticed that there's some I forgot what it's called, some inclusions, some porosity, actually a lot of porosity. But anyways, I was gonna have that bolt, take this plate, bolt it weld it to this, bolt it to that, make a plate with the leveling feature on it, just onto this, so we can level it out. But gotta figure something else out because of that that cast doesn't really like to get welded too good. I just got a bunch of this random stuff for free I gotta put away. This is going to that exhaust I just showed you to support it better. But yeah, I mostly wanted to, because I haven't really been able to find too many details about this thing. For fuel, it burns, it's about 11.5 gallon tank. And so I've got 7 hours on 3 bars. So it's pretty good on fuel. I just add some same stuff I put in my truck, that diesel power, diesel service lubricity stuff. And so I got my spool gun ground. This is for the XMT. This is, I think it's called the WC 14 or 12 or something, the brain box for the spool gun. And then I've got a dually truck. I want to make a flatbed welding bed out of it, but right now everything's in this trailer. It's kind of a mess, but I've been mostly doing aluminum work, and just wanted to start a channel answering questions, because I try and find detailed stuff on the stuff I have, but a lot of the times it's hard to find. This is a Coolmate 3. I just put that RV coolant in there because I can't buy that Miller stuff around here. This is I went to the welding store and got the biggest rod they had, which was this 3/16, I think it's an 18-inch rod, hard surfacing rod. And I pegged the machine out at 410. It had no problem burning that. Actually, I think it's a little hot. I don't know too much about hard surfacing, but I was doing some practice 70/18s, 1/8 inch 70/18s with I was using these different dig settings on this machine, and it made quite a difference. There's 4 settings, and then I pretty much, I could tell the 7/18 was definitely a lot smoother, not as aggressive, I guess. And pretty nice machine. I got a let me notice this. There's one screw on here that's not stainless for whatever reason. It's that one right there. So I gotta change that out. I don't know if that's, I don't know who did that, but we're just gonna be finishing this bad boy up. I gotta tack a couple more on the second sheet. We're doing the ceiling here. What we've been doing is starting on that edge. So I'll tack there, 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 then there, then there, then there, then there, then there, then there. Working our way this way. I don't know if it'll expand or shrink or whatever, so work our way this way, cut the extra off, start a new one. So on this one, I ended up having to do the seam since it's a 4x20 foot sheet. I did the seam there, and then I either had someone standing up there to keep the weight on that seam. Right now I got a piece of 6x6 timber, so I'm just gonna stitch that up, and then with the 2 scraps I'll fill one there, one there. That's the door, that's the window. We're gonna have some bunks I think 6 bunks, a couple windows, maybe a couch, diesel stove, and go from there. But I haven't really run, I've run a little bit of maybe 10 spools of that 035 wire through this spool gun, and one time I accidentally grabbed a piece of 3/64 and it was, I couldn't get it really dialed in, but I'd like to run some bigger rod or wire through that thing at some point. So this one's 4043, which I don't know if the store didn't have it. This is what I've been running a lot of. I think the store ran out of that 4043, so I've been using this 5356. I haven't welded it enough to really be able to tell the difference or whatever, but